2 years ago, San Palamo, California. Founded in 1893 at Canterlot, then still called Camelot, having shifted from its original name of Poverty Flats a year prior, the Zachary School of Manners was designed to edify the minds of young girls of the growing town. Created as a sister facility to the München Boys' School, while the later took inspiration from the great schools of Munich, Germany, Zachary was based on a namesake school founded at Zachary Castle in Belgium, where the genteel young ladies of Europe was educated and cultured. That was over a century ago. Now located in the city of San Palamo, which became independent of Canterlot in 1947, the now named Zachary Academy for Girls, as well as the since named Mochigur Institute for Young Men, still serve the same purpose, but as times changed, so did the school. With the current focus of educating the top young ladies in the Canterlot metro area, it was more than just a school about teaching them manners and etiquette. It was about making them highly successful members of society. And this Zachary did. So much so, it was perpetually listed in the top 25 all girls' high schools of America list, and often frequently within the top 10 itself. A quick list of distinguished alumni of the school could easily be mistaken for a who's who's list of distinguished American women of the 20th century. Speed Burst, Olympic athlete whose world record for the 400-meter relay has yet to be broken. Maui Gingerflower, world famous folklore musician. Sweet Orbit. Oh God, only a ponyfic. Flaunted mathematician who worked on the NASA Apollo program. To Flame, celebrated activist and philanthropist. And finally, no list would be complete without Zachary's most famous alumnus, Princess Platinum, senator and stateswoman, the so-called unbreakable diamond in California, whose name had become legend in the halls of Congress. This was the Zachary Academy of today, and though the past remained, it was frequently updated for the future. Even the school's team name and mascot, the Princesses, had been updated from the original ugly and virtual disfied beauty of the past to a modern anime-esque badass in knightly armor. It was a maximum that if you were a Zachary girl, you were either going to be a textbook example of success, or the woman who eventually rewrote the world. And now, a new generation of girls was set to join the vaunted ranks of Zachary elite. Row after row of freshmen, dressed in the telltale maroon blazers, black shirts and white shirts, and striped red ties to the school, joined the other students there. The glad not to be freshmen anymore relieved for the sophomores, the breezily experienced juniors, and the ready for their final year seniors, all facing the front of the assembly, where the school's headmistress, Mrs. Honey Lemonade, herself a Zachary alumnus and a history maker in her own right, addressed the student body, with the faculty seated behind her, as well as three girls, the student class president and the two high school's divas. The former was normal, the latter was the uniquely Zachary touch. The school had been semi-formalized, the naturally occurring concept of a student queen bee, and although the divas were not formal members of the student government, they had just as much limited authority and responsibilities, one being a check and a balance for the other, vice versa. Approximately 100 girls sat in the freshman seats, most having graduated from Crystal Prep earlier in the year, though many came from other private schools and even a few public institutions, all of them ready to make their mark on Zachary in the world. A few had already earned themselves nicknames before coming to the school, and in this case, for Twilight Sparkle, valedictorian of her graduating class at Crystal Prep, as well as her cousins, had earned it before their nickname of the Five Sisters. For their generally insular nature, a small self-contained circle. That wasn't to say that they weren't friendly or helpful to others, but rather that in the world that was high school, with cliques to be found and groups to be created, theirs was a naturally existing one already. "We're finally here," Sonata cheered softly. "High school girls!" "I really don't think much has changed, Sonny," Octavia whispered back. "I mean, I don't feel any different than yesterday." Adagio snickered. "Because you only pay attention to your base, Tavi. You notice there's a whole world out there. Like that sophomore in the other world who keeps looking at you." "Only you would notice that, Miss Sussa Butterfly," came the response. "Besides, you know I don't see it that way." "You know I'm only teasing you, cuz," Adagio said with a smile. "Besides, knowing how flirty Sis could be, she probably tried to hook up with her first." Arya jied and got punched in the cow for it. "Be nice, Ari." "Hey, don't blame me, okay? I guarantee every girl's gonna be looking at Tommy's chest during the lingerie follies." "The what?" "Girls, let's talk about this later, okay? I really want to hear what the class president has to say. Figures you want to focus only on scholastics slightly. You only really need to pay more attention to the world around you. I have you all. I don't need anyone else, Twilight insisted, and her 4 cousins just sighed. Phoenix Temple brushed her blonde hair out of her eyes. Despite her Chinese name, she was American. She explained that her name came about from her parents having lived in Beijing for a number of years. She was the student council president and valedictorian. I heard a lot of good things about you, Twilight Sparkle. I have no doubt you'll probably be standing up here when the time comes. Twilight blushed. Thanks. Oh, come on, foe. Don't make her turn red. With her bright red hair and eyes, Gleaming Light was one of the 2 divas. That's Umi's job anyway. The other diva, Umi, was a Japanese girl whose father worked at a local Japanese tourism bureau. They lived in the U.S. so long, the blue-haired girl pretty much Americanized herself. Well, I know which girl I want to see up on stage. You would, Lesbo. Damn straight, Octavia laughed. Oh, about that. Octavia began. The 3 seniors looked at each other and all laughed. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not owing too much, I promise, Umi replied. Okay, you 2, Phoenix told him. Look, it's true. As part of the freshman initiation week, yes, you had to wear lingerie for a whole week. Well, only on campus and within the school buildings. So you wear your uniforms to and from the school and PE uniforms during PE, obviously. I don't forget about the follies, Umi said. Down, girl. Yes. On the last day of initiation week, there's a talent show that you have to do while wearing the lingerie. And yes, some of the hornier girls around here will probably try to soak you with wire. Is that even legal? Adagio asked. It's tradition, so talk it up the borderline, Phoenix admitted. Be thankful you don't have to attend when we were a freshman. They still had the Minerva show then. Do I even want to know? Like the Follies, but completely in the nude, Light replied, pressing. Hey, I got to be my first girlfriend outfit, so it wasn't that bad, Umi drawled. Ignore her. She's a slut, Phoenix said about her friend. I'm proud of it. I am never doing this again. Twilight was a full-body blush, so much so it almost blended well with the lacy purple numbers she was wearing. I didn't think it was that bad. Probably wearing the raciest of all of them, Adagio looked perfectly calm. Seekus, social butterfly amongst us, is perfectly fine with being in her intimates in public, Octavia said, trying desperately to cover up. Look, girls, it's a mindset. We're all girls here, and I think the whole purpose of this past week, Arya pointed out. Besides, it was kind of fun, and we participated in something that'll probably be gone by the time we're seniors. You think? Tommy, how many girls asked you out? Arya asked. In response to that was Octavia immediately trying to hide behind the nearest plant. See, my point was made. Certain stupid traditions were made. You didn't think much of it. But now we know lesbianism is a thing, and you don't worry about just the guys from merchandisers that's been trying to spend the whole week sending drones over. Sending drones? With cameras? Twilight squeaked. Oh yeah, Twilight, Arya responded. RC Club sophomores were specifically asked to stick around the school with instructions to shoot down any and all of them that might pop up. Maybe 2-in-1 footage of, well, 2-in-1 if you get my drift. Octavia fainted. Fuck you, Dazzle. Stick your brown nose elsewhere, you got it, the junior said. You hit my cousin, Ardazio said, standing as the lone bulwark between the older student and a bleeding Twilight, who was administered by Evening Sonata. She fucking deserved it. The plagiarizing cunt, another junior replied. You both are idiots, okay? She was up all night working on that science project. Don't blame her for the fact that she's smart enough to figure out that you, 2 years older than her, can't. Dazio gestured to the birds on Twilight's face. Plus, you hit her. That makes it my business. Figures. The 5 sisters stick up for one another, the first one said. Which one of you gets to fist her? Good one, Straw, the second girl said with a malicious grin. Adagio sighed. I'm gonna let that one slide, because I'm actually amazed you used enough of your brain to come up with an insult that intelligent, Strawberry, the younger teen said. Well, that's all you get. You're sliding on thin ice already. So, let's make this clear. You ever touch one of my sisters or cousins, and I will straight up fuck your day over. Got that? You'll be bleeding out places you can't pronounce. The second girl, Coral, got right in Adagio's face. You better be ready to back those words up, Dazzle. I've been doing kung fu since I was a kid, and I guarantee you I'll mop the floor with shitting. Coral went down instantly, gasping for breath. Much to the shock of her friend, would never see Adagio move. As Strawberry looked at the younger girl in shock, Adagio smiled. Yeah, knows kung fu my ass, Adagio said simply. Looking down at the Florentines, he said, You know, I didn't put that much force behind that 1-inch punch, stupid drama queen. But you also know that if I could do that, I will break you before you even lay a hand on me. You bitch! Strawberry seethed. Whatever. That's the last warning you get. Stay away from us, or I will tear you a new asshole. Got it? In fact, spread the word. Don't fuck with me. I find little paces for that sort of thing. So he turned away from the junior, walked back to where the others were. Saria showed up with light in tow. I didn't mean, Twilight was sobbing. Sit down, Hunter. Don't ever apologize for being smarter than them, Twilight, the youngest rebel said. We love you, and that's all that should matter. The 5 sisters embraced their fallen one, and Light walked over to where Strawberry was helping a Coral. You kicked up the Viper's nest, didn't you? Light asked the two. Fuck you, Moonlight twat. Yeah, it'd still be a pointless study, see, Coral. Well, I had such high hopes for you to grow up someday. Guess that's not happening. Well, we're gonna fight for the remaining time you'll be a student here. You picked the wrong girls to bully. There's something about those 5 that, well, walking naked on their boys' campus would probably be safer. Not that you don't do that already, I suspect. She frowned. Just be smart, stay away from them, or you're gonna pay. I'm not afraid of that cunt Adagio. She's not the one you should be afraid of, Light warned. They all follow Twilight. Twilight's the least smart than you. She's the one you should be afraid of. Light's words turned out to be prophetic 2 weeks later. Twilight stormed into the AV room, rage in her eyes, approaching a bunch of her fellow freshmen who were laughing their asses off. Which one of you is Remix? TC. Hi, Remix. A girl with short green and orange hair replied. Twilight looked at the screen the girls were watching, dipped back at Remix. This your work? Yeah, you want a copy? I could bring you one from my USB. She reached over and plucked the flash drive from the computer. Just be careful. Only copy I have is on here. Good, Twilight said, taking the flash drive and snapping it to in front of the shocked girls. Hey, what the fuck? Remix asked, while the other girls looked on in shock. You think this shit is funny? Twilight seethed, pointing at the screen. You think that's a fucking joke? Fuck yes it is. This is comedy gold. You know how long it took me to edit that shit, you bitch? Now you fucked it up, Remix snarled. You're lucky that's all I can do. Because right now, I would do so much more if I could. Okay, look, Sparkle, just chill the fuck out, okay? We're all babies when it happened, okay? Nobody remembers or cares about that shit anymore. A second girl, Video Bloom, spoke. And everyone we showed our video to thought it was hilarious, okay? Twilight's response to that was to slap Video Bloom hard. When Video Bloom looked at the normally quiet girl in shock, Twilight snarked. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you didn't find that funny, did you? You got a lot of nerve coming over here and telling us what to do, Sparkle. Especially since you ruined our class project, you cunt. Remix said, besides, it's not like we hurt anyone, okay? Twilight glared at Remix with an intensity that made the girl stumble back. You made a YouTube video making fun of the planes that crashed on 9/11, Twilight said. That's tasteless enough. But then you go as far as to critique in your video how the terrorists could have done more damage. And you showed that by repeatedly crashing a plane into the Pentagon via computer model. So what? It's a free country and we're allowed to do things like that. It's called satire, sweetie, Video Bloom said, reaching over and attempt to slip Twilight. To her surprise, Twilight blocked the blow. I said you showed that video to my cousins. Twilight said with a sudden calm that was even more dangerous. Their mother, my aunt, was one of the victims on that plane. You essentially made them relive their nightmares over and over again, right in front of everyone. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not buying into that shit, Video Bloom carried. Chances of that are infinitesimal. Besides, Mixie, I have a copy of the video right here on my iPad. An iPad? A second later, Twilight ripped from the girl's hands and threw right out the window. Whoops! Twilight responded. You bitch. You're going to have to pay for that. Sure. For my family, it's worth it, Twilight said, glaring at Video Bloom. Stay the fuck away from us, you bitch! As Twilight left the audio-visual room, she noticed Phoenix standing there. I'll do detention. Pay her back for the iPad, whatever you recommend, the younger girl said to the older one. Phoenix adjusted her glasses. I'm sure that you know, Twilight. I'm not saying Fitz in the right, but I don't care. They hurt my family, Theo. I'm not good at standing up for much, but I will for my sisters. Yeah, I know. I'm going to tell the school that you're going to serve detention for the rest of the month to make up for the broken iPad. And that Mixie and Vid are going to have to make a video on sensitivity training. And I'll have to apologize to the triplets as well. Works for me, Twilight responded. You know where study hall is. You start tonight, understood? Twilight coldly nodded and walked off, not seeing the proud smile on the face of the senior. Twilight walked over to where 3 sobbing, heartbroken girls were being confronted by Octavia. Did you do it? Twilight asked. Octavia asked, and Twilight nodded. Twilight, you didn't have to go that far, Dacia said, wiping her smeared mascara from her eyes. We could have dealt with it, Arya agreed. Sonata said nothing, just sat there with her head on Octavia's lap. No, you protected me, Daci. Now it's my turn to protect you. That's what sisters do. By the time the holidays rolled around, word had gotten out to the student body. Messing with any one of the 5 sisters immediately brought the wrath of the others. As the school year wound down, officially they were known still as the 5 sisters. But behind their backs, everyone referred to them as the Furies.